Hello people, this is a time-lapse video, which I know I've done time-lapse videos before, but I've never narrated them, and I've never done them in sections, like pencils first, and then, colors and stuff like that. So, yeah. Today, surprise, surprise, I'm going to show you how I draw my original character, Tony. And I'm going to give you kind of like a little synopsis, if that's the right word, I'm pretty sure it's not, on him and where he came from, I guess. And if you're interested, you can keep on watching, because, yeah. Basically, Tony is a teenage boy that I came up with when I was in the 9th grade, and I've drawn him constantly ever since. Basically, he started out as a little idea I came up with when I was watching American Restoration on the History Channel. If you're familiar with that show, one of the cast members has that nifty half and half hair color style, whatever. It's half brown, half blonde, and that kind of inspired me to come up with this boy character with that hairstyle, because I thought that was pretty cool at the time, and I still do. Basically, at that point, I had never drawn a boy like that. I've never come up with my own like character that's a boy. All my other characters are girls, and so I decided to test my drawing capabilities, and I came up with Tony. His name is Tony McVeigh, actually, and he originally wasn't really gonna be anything special. I just drew him one time and was like, oh, okay. But after that, I started drawing him more and more, and I found that I really liked drawing him because he was just a quirky kid, and I like to experiment, I guess. I apologize. I'm gonna gush so much when I talk about him because he's just my favorite thing. Over the past almost 3 years I've been drawing him, I've just like fallen in love with him. Like, my standards for guys are so low because of Tony, because he's like an angel. If you've ever seen my drawings of him, like, and how they progressed into just being really like unrealistic things to realistic pictures, oh my god, like, I've made phone cases out of him. I'm sorry, I love him. Anyway, so with this picture, as you can see next to me, my phone is sitting there. I found this picture of this like pretty boy on Instagram, and it kind of reminded me of Tony in a way, so I drew him in the style that the guy's in. He has that slick back gentleman's part hair, and I love that on guys, so I've tried to draw Tony with that hairstyle, and it's very difficult for me because of the way that his hair normally is. It's that weird spiked up mohawk, and this is like different, I guess, because that's just basically how I started drawing him, was with that weird mohawk. So I kind of wanted to take a different route and show you how I would draw him in this little fancy night out in the town style, I guess, which is kind of nerdy to say, but whatever. Whenever I draw my original characters, you see that I like never start out with like a basic shape. I just dive right in, because whenever I have this idea to draw them, I would most likely forget about it if I don't just get it out of my head right at that point, which sucks about me because I always forget these good ideas and I never get to show them. So basically with this, I start out with the head. I always start out with the head. That's pretty much what I want to knock out first, otherwise everything else will be really disproportionate and ugly. So I spent a whole lot of time on the head because that's the main focal point, I guess. The body really wasn't that hard to get out, I guess, to draw. I don't know, because it's only like not even half of them. I didn't really feel like drawing a whole body. That's kind of hard for me, I guess. But with this picture, I started with the head, as you can see, and I wanted to put a whole lot of detail into it because I wanted to show you the process, and Tony is very detailed, as you can see. Yeah. Maybe I spent a little too much time with the detail, because that's like 99% of this video is me messing up and starting over on facial structure and hair detail, like how the hair is supposed to swoop when he slicked it back, I guess. I hope it's not too boring. I'm sorry if you're like totally bored out of your mind right now with my monotone voice, but I'm just really trying to get into detail on how. I totally forgot to mention where Tony came from. Basically, after I designed Tony, I wanted to incorporate him into something that would talk about like where he came from and who he is as a person. So like after I designed him, I started writing a story that was in my science notebook, and I don't know why I put it in there, but he's featured in the story that was originally titled "We're Gonna Make It Out of This Town." And right after I started writing the story, I was inspired to come up with a comic that was the same thing as the story, but it was drawn out in like graphic novel form. And then recently I remembered, oh shoot, the title was from lyrics from a Framing Hanley song, and I remembered that if I ever wanted to get this like published, which I probably will never do, that I'd have to change the title or I'd be like in some serious crap to censor myself because the title is copyrighted. Anywho, so I changed the title to it's so bad. It's called Seasons Change, This Place Won't, which if you've ever listened to like pop punk bands, that would probably be like their album title, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, that's the new title of the story, which kind of really explains it more than We're Gonna Make It Out of This Town, I guess, because if you read the story, which I would be happy to post a link to, it's on Wattpad, I guess you'll understand why I call it that. It's like, since I don't have any bio on Tony yet, I would love to post one. I would probably, if I ever finish the website I started for this like story, then I'll probably post a bio, which I could talk about him for hours, so I'd rather just like post a bio. But as I finish like this video or start the second video of the coloring stuff, then maybe I'll go into more detail about him if you're interested in that. But yeah, I could literally gush about this boy for hours. At some point while I was finishing up the lines for this, I was like, you know what would be really cute? A bow tie. So I hurried up and I drew, not really hurried because I like suck at everything, and like the simplest things I suck at, like bow ties. So I spent like a good 2-3 minutes on a bow tie for Tony's little suit dress shirt thing, and once you see like the end process, like the final product, I guess, of the liner, you'll see how cute he looks in this bow tie, so I'm glad I added it. So this is the final product. This is the lines. I'm gonna post another one eventually of me coloring this. I hope I didn't bore you too much with this video, and thanks for watching.